Good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm getting ready for my day, but I definitely wanted to make a follow-up video because I literally woke up, just could not stop thinking about what happened last night with Puente Live and the organizer Nannette. So now that I'm a little, I've had some rest and my brain isn't as scattered about that, because when something like that happens to you, you get shaken up. You're like, what's happening? Why are you doing this to me? But that was traumatic. Like, seriously, I know it may not seem like it was traumatic, but it really, really was. And I know that it was because I'm still thinking about it. And people have been mean people are mean all the time. That's, but this was different. So for me anyway. So I just kind of wanted to do a follow-up video. I do have a a market today in Ontario, which is not too far from my house, so I don't have to drive an hour. But I just kind of want to talk about some things that I didn't necessarily mention yesterday because I was just so shocked that things were happening to me that I just wanted to put a video out there so that everyone understood what this woman did to me, because it was unacceptable and inexcusable. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back and watch my last video that's called The Worst Experience Ever, Puente Live. You can watch that video. I was treated very poorly by the market organizer, but I kind of want to just do a follow-up to that as I put my makeup on, because I do have to get ready and I do have to go and sell candles, because I drove an hour to go sell candles yesterday at Puente Live and I did not get to work because I was treated so poorly. I decided to leave. A couple things that I left out that are very, very important. When I got to the market, I was specifically told where to park. I didn't just go park anywhere. And I think it's important to understand that this is what I do for a living. I go to markets practically every day. So I understand protocol. I understand you don't just pull your car up and get out and say, hey, I'm here to sell candles. You have to follow guidelines. Because I had never been to this market before, I got there extremely early. So early that I asked a construction worker that was working in the street, hey, I'm here for Puente Live. Can you tell me where to go? He's like, oh, you're early, go over across the street. So that's where I initially parked, across the street. And so then once I started to see cars going into the market, I said, okay, let me go find out what's going on, and is it my turn to go in? The individual, the gentleman that was at the information booth, he was so sweet. He was so kind. He said, park your vehicle right here beside the information booth. That's what he told me. So when Nannette actually arrived with her attitude, whose truck is this? You cannot park here. I could have told her, hey, your employee told me to, but I thought, you know what? I'm just going to move my truck. I'm not a confrontational person. I don't like confrontation. If I can get out of an argument, I will. So when she said that, I just kind of was like, okay, clearly I was told to park here, but whatever. That's number one. I did leave that information out. I was literally told to park there by Nannette's employee. I still don't know that gentleman's name, but I was told to park there. So let's be clear about that. The second thing that I kind of left out is that Nannette was being just rude. Like, she was just being cold, and just the way she was speaking to her staff, she was just a very, I'm large and in charge type of demeanor. And all of us are just kind of looking, and even my vendor friend and I kind of looked at each other like, sheesh, she's a tough one. So anyway, when she told me, follow me, I followed her. And when she got to my spot, it was like a little bitty spot that I'm not even sure my trailer would have fit there, and I told her, like I said, hey, I have a trailer. And that's when she went off. And I'm so upset that I didn't record, but how would I when it just happened like that? She's like, this is your spot. And I'm like, oh, she's like, put your tent right here. Like, oh, I have a trailer. You have a trailer? She just went off as if to say, who told you to bring a trailer? They're not allowed here, and you're not allowed here with it. So I had to explain to her, and I literally pulled up the email, you guys. I literally pulled up the email that said, I have a 10x6 trailer. Here's something that's to be understood. I literally send emails like every day to markets trying to get in. This is how I run my business. This is how I make my money. I have to reach out to markets that I'm at 2 permanent markets, but I have to work more than 2 days a week, right? I mean, hello. So I'm constantly emailing and I'm always letting markets know I have a trailer, not a tent. And the reason why I'm so specific about that is because I've shown up to so many events where they're like, oh, we forgot you had a trailer, or, oh, we didn't know you had a trailer. So now, almost 2 years in this business, I'm very, very specific because I don't have the money to drive over an hour just to be turned away because your market doesn't accept trailers. So clearly I know that I put that, and I have my proof. I have my email. And so even though I'm reading this to her, she literally is like, yeah, but it doesn't say we approved your trailer. So me and her are kind of going back and forth about it. Like, I'm not understanding what you're not understanding. The email says I have a trailer, and the person that responded said, cool, we want you, in so many words. She's like, no, that's not what they meant. So she was like, well, I'll let you stay this time, but and so I'm like, she's like, well, do you want to stay or do you want to go? She kept over talking me. She's one of those girls that, when you get ready, she over talks you. Like, you're about to respond and she's like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay? You want to go? I said, I'm going to go, because I spoke on impulse because I was so upset with the way that she was speaking to me. I was like, I'm going to go. She's like, good. And she just walked away. So when she walked away, I put my phone on record and walked back over to that information desk to let the gentleman know. At the time, I didn't know he worked under Nannette. I didn't know who these people were. This was my first event with them. I don't know who's who. So I'm thinking this is someone in management that should know how this woman is treating me. So when I get over there and I start explaining to this very kind gentleman about it, she walks in and she immediately interrupts our conversation. She said something about, you have a trailer. We don't accept trailers. So I'm like, I'm talking to him, looking at him, but she's over here talking. So I continue to look at him and I'm like, look, sir, this is the email. So she somehow drifts away to call her manager. And in the midst of that, her manager did say, yes, I'm so sorry. I'm guessing he said, look, she did let me know and I just didn't let you know. So she comes back and she's like, this is all on recording. My manager made a mistake. So do you want to stay or do you want to go? Because right now you're yelling. I was not yelling at all. And I have my recording. She tried to paint this narrative of, oh, now you're angry. I wasn't angry. I was talking to her. I was actually not even talking to her. I was talking to the gentleman, trying to get him to see. She's like, well, you're going back and forth. I said, yes, I'm going back and forth because I'm going to file a complaint and I need to show that I went up the chain of command. She's like, oh, well, they work for me. She said, I am the chain of command. They work for me or something like that. I said, okay. Well, she's like, well, do you want to stay or do you want to go? So at that point, I'm sitting there. My mind is racing. I can't believe what's happening to me. I'm like, I'm going to stay. Because at the end of the day, I did drive too far and I worked too hard. I'm going to stay. So the gentleman starts walking me back over on the other side of the street in this look at the back of the street. Like I'm at the back of the market. Like the back of the market. And when I tell you I was the last vendor on the street, I was the last vendor at the back of the market. So it would have been probably not lucrative for me. I don't know. You never know what a market's going to turn out, if it's going to be lucrative or not. But based on my location, it wasn't a good spot. So I was already analyzing that. And I said, why would she treat me like? He was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I understand if you want to go. If you want to stay, great. If you want to leave, great. I get it. So I get over there. And as I'm like thinking about everything, my vendor friend who happens to speak Spanish ran over and she hugged me. And she's like, yeah, she told me not to come over here and console you. I'm like, wow, this woman really is on one. Like, she's a really evil person. And then she said, well, I speak Spanish. And she did say racial slurs. I said, well, that doesn't surprise me. I said, it doesn't surprise me at all. And so she just kind of hugged me and she was like, I'm so sorry. I heard everything. If you need me to write a witness statement, I'll do it. So I left because at the end of the day, I didn't want to be somewhere that didn't want me there. And then I was in a really bad location. So with all that said, I got a lot of information after I came home and posted my video. Nannette has a reputation for doing this. This is who she is. This is how she operates. A lot of people, I'll just say I got a lot of information about her spirit, her demeanor, her person. She is a very mean person. And this is what she does. She's power driven. She's high off that power. I get to call the shots, and she even made comments after I left in a joking manner of kind of to the tune of, yeah, I got her out of here. So I don't know what that was about. I'm definitely taking this to the highest level. I've already started. So I just want to thank everyone that reached out, gave me information, gave me your, condolences, because I am a little shaken up by this. If you know me, you know that I'm a happy-go-lucky, bubbly girl, and not much gets to me, especially in the vendor world. But this really, really rattled my spirit. I woke up thinking about it, went to bed thinking about it, still thinking about it. So I just want to thank everyone that reached out. If you do have information that I can use to report Nannette with the La Puente Live, please let me know in the comments. I'm going to take this to the highest level, because you don't get to treat me like this. I drove over an hour to be at her event. This is how I make my living. I didn't get to work. Imagine missing a whole day's of wages. It's very hard as it is, doing this. So I love what I do, but it's not easy what I do. And to drive that far and to be treated that poorly to the point where I didn't even feel comfortable staying was unacceptable, inexcusable, and needs to be addressed. She needs to be held accountable for the way that she treated me. And I fully intend on making sure that the powers that be know how I was treated. So that's that. Going to the market. Wish me luck. Wish me lots of sales and connections. I'll talk to you guys soon.